Hi, my name is Chelsea Rose, and I am both a paramedic and a social media person. I don't really like to use the term influencer, but yeah, that's one of my hobbies slash, I guess, side hustles. It's really tough to kind of describe yourself. I find it's easier to describe other people because you're so many things over the course of your lifetime, but I'll kind of give the good and the flawed pieces. I'm really honest, sometimes to the point that it gets me in trouble. I am dedicated and hardworking, but I'm also really lazy and I procrastinate a lot. I leave things to the last minute. I put too much on my plate, but I find that makes me really good at multitasking. And I put a lot of pressure on myself, but then I find I make my best work that way. I'd like to be thought of as kind of kind and caring and thoughtful. I think creativity plays a huge role in my life. I actually once thought about going to art school. So I think that there's always been creativity in my life since I was really young. And I think you can just find creativity in really small things, just like dressing yourself, like how you choose to present yourself to other people. And then definitely in my role as sort of like social media, working with different brands, kind of coming up with what they want to see, but also putting your own spin on things, and planning shoots, planning pictures, basically putting all of that together is really creative, a really creative process. And I'm also creative because I like to do cosplays, like dress up. I like to do really funky makeup sometimes. I also recently joined an app called TikTok, which I find you kind of have to be creative on as well. And I like to do some creativity as a relaxer in my spare time, like drawing, writing, or painting. So right now, I kind of have backtracked a little bit. I left high school and went straight into university because that's just what everyone was doing at the time. And I had originally wanted to go to art school, but my parents said, art's not a career. So I went to business school instead, and halfway through, I didn't enjoy what I was doing and realized that that's not what I wanted to do. So on a whim, I kind of decided to apply to go to paramedic school, and then I forgot about it. And then when the time came for exam season, I got an email saying that I'd been accepted and I just needed to go pass their tests. So I was like, do I want to do this? And I did. But all the time while going through that, I knew I was always going to go back and finish because I didn't like the idea of leaving it unfinished. I also didn't like the idea of putting myself that much into debt for nothing. And now that I am working as a paramedic, I am back part-time and hopefully shall graduate in May with a business degree. And I'll be the first person in my immediate family to graduate from university. I'm taking German literature right now. Now we're focusing on the 1800s, and there's two pieces that I had to read. One was Maria Stuart from Friedrich Schiller, and that is translated to Mary Stuart. It's about Mary, Queen of Scots, and it was a play written about the 3 days leading up to Mary Stuart's execution and her being in the castle with Queen Elizabeth. So it's two very strong female leaders at the time, Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, but it's written from a male perspective. I'd actually watched a TV series when I was in high school called Reign, which is based on Queen Mary as well, but that was done in the year 2014 or something. The women were portrayed so powerful. And then to read this play, you kind of had to take into perspective, that was only 200 years ago. It was really empowering to see that I watched a TV series in high school about these women that made me feel like, wow, this is so strong, women as leaders, look how empowering they are, versus that play back in the 1800s that was kind of tearing us down a little bit, and to see wow, in 200 years, we went from that to this. So the biggest piece of advice I would give to creatives or entrepreneurs is to kind of just go with your gut. One of the biggest things I pride myself is being honest, and through social media, I actually got to kind of be more of myself to strangers, help people out and find different perspectives, because I've gained so much from people I follow on social media, and I've gained so much from their perspectives and their stories. I wanted to be able to share my own, and wanting to do that, I actually kind of gained the courage to come out to my family about my sexuality and come out to my family about the fact that I have depression. I started my Instagram just kind of wanting free stuff, and now I get to share, social issues that mean a lot to me. I get to share my story, I get to share other people's stories, and I honestly think that's really amazing.